Hello, so good to meet you at our global motivational meeting. We are reading World Scriptures book. This God's word that inspire billions of people, families, communities, countries, and the whole world. And will help you to just read this quote and practice in your daily life. As we read this holy book from beginning, please find out all the chapters at our Message to Billion channel. And let's see what God prepared for us today. Persecution. Sacrifice is often thrust upon a man or woman in the form of persecution. Few desire to be mistreated, misunderstood, slandered, ostracized, and harassed. Yet persecution often follows righteous believers like a shadow. Persecution is of no value if it is crushes us. However, those who can preserve with faith and digest these troubles without complaint or resentment can attain the highest goal of fellowship with heaven. Persecution can be a blessing because it pushes us into the realm of total self-sacrifice and self-denial. Its circumstances allow us to attain an unsurpassed degree of selflessness beyond what we could achieve by our own effort. In view of the beatification which comes through sacrifice, it is not surprising that people who are persecuted in faith often lose any negative feelings or hate or vengefulness toward their persecution, and even develop compassion for them, selfless holiness, and relentlessness to the divine. Hence, the paradoxical fact of history that religions thrive in time of persecution. Father Moon also teach that God and Satan have as it were a contact between them. If Satan unrighteously persecute innocent believers, God has a right to claim compensation for damages. In this way, throughout history, goodness at first suffers attack but triumphs in the end. God takes the principle to its logical application. Believers should welcome maltreatment and even consciously embark on a course leading to persecution as a way to advance the divine purpose. Blessed are you when men revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. For so men persecuted the prophet who were before you. As the elephant in the battlefield withstands the arrows shot from above, even so will I endure abuse. Verily, most people are lacking in virtue. We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not disappoint us, because God's love has been poured into our heart. Do men imagine that they will be left at ease because they say, we believe and will not be tested with affliction? Lo, we tested those who were before you. Thus God knows those who are sacrificed are sincere, and knows those who fail. If the world hates you, know that it had hated me before it hated you. If you were of the world would love its own. But because you are not of the world, but I choose you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said to you. A servant is not greater than his master. The Israelites do not return to righteousness except through suffering. The right attitude for the seeker of truth on this lofty path is let my people look askance. Let my wife and children forsake me. Let me deride. Let kings punish. But I shall be steadfast, O supreme deity. I shall serve and even serve with mind, speech, body, and act. I shall not leave thy law. Further, let's read quotes from the second guy, Messiah. Messiah, Father, Son, and Moon. You have to pass through hell in order to reach the kingdom of heaven. Persecution is God's strategic expedient to recover the ownership of the satanic world. If you understand this principle, it becomes self-evident why true religions prosper under persecution. The founders of the major religions of the world, Jesus, Buddha, Confucius, and Muhammad, all were persecuted. Yet, because of this principle, these persecuted people became saints. History progressed following this principle. Therefore, with the flow of time, they were naturally destined to become the victors. Human history has been a history of struggle, a fight between God and Satan, and good and evil over humanity standing in the middle. Because human history started with the fall, evil got a head start. Therefore, throughout history, the evil side has always taken the offensive and been the aggressor. Good has been passive and defensive, yet God is on the side of good. In the end, the good side always wins the victory. The good side always begins as the underdog, yet it comes out victorious and expands. God's strategy is to distract and then be recompensated, including an additional amount of damages, while Satan's strategy is to strike first, for which he must pay compensation in the end. That is why Satan falls after striking, while God is struck and yet prosper. By following that strategy and taking up the course of persecution, I would continue to prosper and build an ever stronger foundation of victories. Just as religions develop on the most when their struggles under the threat of martyrdom, we are free of corruption when under persecution. As long as you thinking is self-centered, Satan, the second subject, is your Lord. That is why religions require complete self-denial. You cannot serve your relationship with Satan if you insist on yourself. How does God create the circumstances where we can fulfill the condition of self-denial? We cannot do it by ourselves. Certainly, religions teach people to deny themselves and lead a life of self-denial. But in the end, we cannot do it by ourselves. The standard of self-denial must be created with a reciprocal relationship. If someone else pushes you into the position of negated, it is equivalent to self-denial. In this way, God creates the sphere of denial for religious people by arranging for everyone to oppose them. This is the motive behind persecution. When a person came to believe in God and religions, he or she is often opposed by the people closest to him, his parents and loved ones. It is a case of Satan, the second subject, attacking God. The first subject, when someone strikes a righteous person unjustly, it sets a condition that must be repaid. Because of this payment, the development of religion is secure. True people of faith accept persecution and trials as nutrition for their spiritual growth, rather than as a source of resentment against those who persecute them. Bear every cross, willingly be the first to be hit by the stones through by people in their villages. Be the foremost target of all their curses and accusations, and the first to receive their beating. Does true love break when it hits a first? Which would break true love or the first? The bones of the first will break. It is hits again and again, it will disintegrate. That is why God permits Satan to keep striking. Every time true love is struck, the one who strikes is weakened. Why does God not stop persecution? Why doesn't he remove the persecutions? Because he knows that the more they strike, the faster they will decline. In this way, the persecution will completely cease. Then it becomes fertilizer. Once it roots, it will become good soil. You should experience many tears. The underside of revolutionary history is always filled with blood and tears. It is full of accusation, persecution, abuses, and beating. It is the path that every moon also have walked. Yet, no matter how many tears you wept, God's sorrow is millions of times greater than your sorrow. A human being, two-dimensional sorrow cannot be compared to God's three-dimensional sorrow. Running my course, ever grateful to thee. I am nearly 70, having reached old age in the prime of my life. When I was healthy and strong, I burned up all my passions attending heaven. Now gone in the time of return glory to thee, since that day I was driven out as one rejected by people and rebel against humanity. I endured in silence while the unification church was struck. Yet I had thee because it could endure and progress. Through the heavenly principles of being struck and taking back what was lost, Father, thou art love, thou didn't put me behind the steel bars to prepare for me the measure of joyful circumstances, to place me in the position to inherit, to give me blessing. Now that it is over, I see that everything was love, and the touch is thy expensive generously. Recalling it now, I can only thank thee. So powerful quotes for today. If you have difficulties, please watch one more time this video or share this video as we end this video. Happy Life Subscribers Marathon. Contact me for consultation, cooperation, and become a member of this Heavenly Parents Holy Community globally. The contact is below. Receive much more blessing, salvation, and prosperity. Just turn on the suggested playlist and listen God's words all day. Stay blessed. See you tomorrow with more powerful quotes. Yours, Nicolae Cirpala. Bye bye.